Let's get straight to it, y'all.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, because of the big chair announcement, we all know we're getting a healthy dose of Fox Legacy X-Men in the upcoming Avengers Doomsday. But it's this latest anonymous scoop that's coming from this scooper's trusted source that indicates we might be getting a lot more than that. And we have to double back to a rumor stemming from summer of last year that sort of already painted this picture with huge implications for Ian McKellen's Magneto return. We're breaking it all down, what possible villain team this leads to, and the more interesting implication that it might also lead to the return of Scarlet Witch. But first, I want to tell you about the sponsor of today's video.
Now, guys, if you're like me, there's a good chance that right now you're trying to figure out what to get your mother for Mother's Day. Get her something she can actually use, she can actually enjoy.
Hey, me? The hell? It's a long ad, ain't it? The ad like most of the video.
This is not coming from one of the trusted industry insiders that's been heavily vetted and has a proven track record over the last 2 or 3 years, say like Jeff Snyder or someone like Daniel RPK. Although the Spanish pop culture site that this is being posted on, Quidvaco, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, does have almost 200,000 followers, and they're claiming that this intel comes from one of their trusted sources, so take that as you will. They indicate that Ian McKellen's return now that has been confirmed via the chair announcement last week means that not only are we going to see him, but he'll be leading the Brotherhood of Mutants, and that in fact, he might also be accompanied by his 2 children, including Pietro and of course, Wanda Maximoff. Now during the prologue, I lightly referenced some rumors from last year where we heard that Dr. Doom may be bringing a team. Some indicated it might be the Masters of Evil, others think it might be an evil variant version of the Avengers. But it could also be the case that Magneto isn't sided with the heroes, but rather his Brotherhood of Mutants is actually sided with Dr. Doom. And there's actually really good reason to believe this. Industry insider Alex Perez over at the Cosmic Circus indicated that it's sort of going to be down the middle. There will be those who side with Dr. Doom and believe that he's a savior. And for those heroes and villains that do, they'll see him as he sees himself, the hero in the story. And that was just days before the Russos confirmed that's exactly the angle that they're taking with Doom as they did with Thanos, because it makes the villain much more 3D when they believe they're the protagonist and not the antagonist. All of that, very believable. Brotherhood of Mutants on the side of Doom, also believable. However, the believability of this starts to fall off when we hear that Pietro and Wanda Maximoff might be by his side as his children. Look, I think there's as good a reason to believe that Scarlet Witch will not be a part of this film based on Elizabeth Olsen's recent comments as there are to believe that there's no way that Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to be a part of this film and after what just happened with Kraven. I think if anything, that sort of blows up this entire scoop. Part of this might be real, but I just do not believe for any reason that Scarlet Witch will be a part of this film based on her quotes, based on the fact that she is not under contract currently with the MCU, unless there was sort of an extension we didn't find out about, which I find it hard to believe the trades wouldn't have already gotten to that. And so, all things considered, there's some believability here, but I would not get your hopes up to see Scarlet Witch in Avengers Doomsday. And if she is going to return, I think most likely the case that would be Secret Wars. But look, I think there is a chance that there are a lot of heroes and villains here we're hoping to see that just aren't going to make it onto screen for whatever those reasons are. I know it's hard to believe that Tom Holland's Spider-Man might not be in Doomsday, and they're going to make it work with having Brand New Day run concurrently, but it does look like he might not be a part of it, and that's just the nature of they have so many people to get through in these films, and they went ahead and filled up Doomsday with a bunch of Fox Legacy X-Men we haven't seen in almost a decade, let alone the characters they need to get to that they have introduced in Phase 4 and Phase 5. Look, it is early in the leak season. There have been some behind-the-scenes photos that we're going to get around to. I actually tried to source some of the copyrights on those, but the cat's so far out of the bag now. They've been on so many social media accounts, their market isn't being impacted if we should cover them here. And we're going to do our best to keep up with every leak and rumor, but remember, a lot of this is not going to be true, and there is going to be an overflow, if I remember correctly, from Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, where theories are going to start to bleed into rumors, and all of a sudden, you'll have people coming up with rumors for what the plot leaks look like based on the theories that people have. And that's how you end up with that Tom Cruise Iron Man scene that was supposed to be a multiverse of madness in this enormous plot leak that everybody covered, where he had Thanos' head in a jar in his lab and he was completely crazy and everybody was really buying in, when really it was just a theory he'd be a part of the Illuminati. And they really did deliver on a multiverse Illuminati. It just didn't include that. And that's where I mean there are going to be a lot more of these where people just either overreach or read a theory and think that they can spin it as a rumor. And you got to definitely stay vigilant here in this next year or so, because so much is going to be said about this film that's just not going to be correct. And of course, here at this channel, when it ain't right, we're going to call it out. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below, how hype you are for Magneto. Is it really a reveal that he'd be ahead of the Brotherhood of Mutants after we saw him do that basically in the first couple of X-Men movies? And I know Scarlet Witch is probably not going to be in this film, but who you got on that team if you're picking villains to side with Doom in the first place, if it truly is going to be a Brotherhood of Mutants instead of, say, an evil Avengers or a Masters of Evil that he has by his side? I am all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we are still giving away PlayStations. We are going to give away one next week for the finale of Daredevil. In fact, we'll be giving away two. If you want to be entered to win, all you got to do, hit that sub button, then leave a comment down below. Because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications.
Let me guess, it's for a PS5, isn't it? You might want that weekend PS5. Go get your own one, man. Really, like, bro, go get you some money. Go buy you a PS5. It's only